The bear, it fucking did cocaine. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, a bear doing cocaine. Filmmaking has peaked, and it's all downhill from here. Cocaine Bear was directed by Elizabeth Banks, who did Pitch Perfect 2, Electric. You're going to forget about this franchise in just a couple years. Boogaloo. When she's gone, you're going to miss Anna Kendrick when she's gone, just from the franchise. But she also did the Charlie's Angels 2019 version. Elizabeth Banks, not Anna Kendrick, even though Anna Kendrick is quite talented and could probably direct a film. This isn't about Anna Kendrick, this is about Elizabeth Banks, who also said, may the odds be ever in your favor. Yes, looking like Boy George in a dystopian setting. Nevertheless, this is also written by Jimmy Warden, who did The Babysitter, Killer Queen. This doesn't have Samara Weaving, but it has Kerry Russell and the rest. It's really entertaining. It's so monumentally fucking stupid on the surface and below, but it's so entertaining from beginning to end, but so monumentally stupid, but so good. Stupid and entertaining and fun and more of this. Please, more. I need more. I need more films like this. This is why I love reviewing movies. This is why I love going to the movies. This is why I love watching something. This is why I love watching movies. Because this hit every goddamn perfect note, from playing Jefferson Starship's Jane and all the way through. Anytime the bear was menacing around or destroying and mauling people just to get more of that sweet cocaine, it was so goddamn great. And yes, the characters are very much on the surface. You aren't supposed to care about any of the characters. You're supposed to care about the cocaine bear, the titular character. I promise you all, I'm reacting to the word titular with the good taste and maturity that everybody has come to expect from me. And this was, when this started to get some more attention, let's calm down here a little bit. It was, this is Ray Liotta's last film. He completed his part just a couple weeks before his death. Obviously, would have been a bit weird otherwise. And he's having fun in this. He plays the main guy looking for the cocaine. Obviously, it's Ray Liotta. Why wouldn't he be looking for cocaine on Blood Mountain, in the woods, around Knoxville, or somewhere in the environs, while a black bear has ingested cocaine and is going on a murderous rampage for blood and also cocaine? And there's Alden Ehrenreich, who plays Eddie, his son, who's dealing with his own stuff, and David O'Shea Jackson Jr., and some other people. You can't take a movie like this seriously. It's fucking ridiculous. There are two kids that factor into this whole thing. The plot is so threadbare because it's inspired by true events. A bunch of cocaine ended up in the goddamn woods. Black bear actually did ingest it, and for a few minutes was the most vicious and destructive creature ever. No attacks actually happened, and besides the person that was trying to get rid of the cocaine and also get away with their own goddamn amount, they passed away. We'll find out why here in a little bit. And also the bear, because you can't ingest that much cocaine even if you're a goddamn bear. But that's not going to stop a movie like Cocaine Bear from having so much entertainment that you are going to just want to be just saying more, please more. I love this. The comedy fucking nailed it. They nailed every goddamn thing. This is everything I could have wanted and then some. More of this. Just put a friggin' plate of it out and just let me snork it like I'm goddamn Scarface, or like I'm Herb Abrams, or like I'm Tony Khan. If you're a wrestling fan, you're dying laughing in the comments. So yeah, the songs that they use for throughout the movie, since it's taking place in 1985, they don't do the Bowling for Soup song, since that's just referencing the year that actually didn't come out in 1985. There's Scandal, featuring Patti Smith, The Warrior, Hard to Win. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. There's Slim Whitman's Love Song of the Waterfall, and then On the Wings of Love by Jeffrey Osborne, Too Hot to Trot by the Commodores, No More Words by Berlin, and then Just Can't Get Enough. Just can't get enough. Just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, and I just can't get enough of goddamn Cocaine Bear. It was so good. Any attack scene was so good, was so goddamn good. Elizabeth Banks has proved herself to be a pretty damn good director, understanding comedy and understanding good tone. Yes, the 2019 Charlie's Angels version wasn't all that great, but Kristen Stewart didn't wear pants for most of it, so I was all right with that, and actually it ended up being pretty entertaining. And, Elizabeth Banks is actually a pretty good actress as well. So she understood that. And Jeffrey, Mr. Warden did a great job here. Because it's a movie called Cocaine Bear. You just need to put a setting where the bear ingests cocaine and attacks people. But you actually add some good comedy to it and some good tone and the music and everything and all that. It was just so good. So good. Even the orchestral part of the soundtrack was so goddamn good. Yes, the special effects were maybe a little bit dicey because it was made probably on a goddamn small budget because it's called Cocaine Bear. But it was still fun. It was a nice throwback to the 70s and 80s monster movies, even back to the 60s monster movies. With blood and violence and everything, that would have been more the 70s and stuff like that, but it ended up being something that was so goddamn entertaining. Do they have a sequel? I don't know. You'll have to find out in the goddamn spoilers. But watch this. Watch this, please. Go watch this so more movies can be made like this. More movies made by people that understand how to make entertaining movies. As Cocaine Bear. It's so good. It's so good. The ambulance chase scene was so goddamn good. When the two backpackers spot the bear, that clip was leaked out. And you get other stuff. You get like a standoff between some particular characters involving cocaine. You get a fight in the bathroom. You get all these great moments and all this great stuff that by and large shouldn't have worked. This movie shouldn't have worked at all. I should have been just railing and saying bullshit. This movie's stupid. One of the worst things I've seen. And you know what? It isn't one of the worst goddamn things I've seen. Because I was laughing my ass off from the very beginning. And I was enjoying it. I had a big goddamn smile on my face. And I was, oh, just like that. That's what I was doing just throughout this. Like, thank you, Elizabeth Banks. Thank you to everybody who made this. Thank you up and down the goddamn card. I don't care. Thank you so much for making this. Thank you, because Cocaine Bear, this is the kind of shit that I love watching movies for, to have this peak type of energy and enthusiasm and want to rush home and talk about it immediately. I just got out of the theater a bit ago and got home as soon as I could just to talk about this because it was so good. It was so good. Yes, there are issues if you really want to nitpick a movie called Cocaine Bear, but just have fun. Just have goddamn fun. When the bear's attacking, it's absolutely a goddamn masterclass in ridiculousness and horror and also ridiculousness because it's a blood-soaked black bear. And by the way, the black bear, you have to fight back against a black bear, but if it's a grizzly bear, you need to lay down. Quite frankly, I don't trust my chances against any furry woodland creature, even a squirrel. I would rather the squirrel didn't go for my nuts like it did in college. I'm not going to take any further questions on that. Cocaine Bear is so fucking good. So good. And Ray Liotta, he had, what a goddamn way to go out. That much I'll say. If you've seen the movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I am going to get into spoilers, though. Like it really goddamn matters. But there you go. It's in theaters. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Okay, so you have Eddie and David who are friends, but Eddie lost his wife to cancer and has a son that basically is being taken care of by Sid. And Sid wants to get that cocaine because there was a guy that was doing all this. I believe Thornton was his name. Thornton, here's a who. But he was throwing, he obviously was on his own kind of cocaine. The plane was going down. They decided to throw this goddamn cocaine out. This one guy did. And then he put on his goddamn parachute. He was going to jump out with a bunch of cocaine. And then he hit his head on the goddamn roof and got sucked out and then died. Because he couldn't deploy his parachute in time because he was knocked out. And then you have Kerry Russell's daughter's character. There's so many names popping around in my goddamn head. And she goes along with a boy that gets confused for a girl, like by the park ranger character in a funny moment. And these kids are just out having fun, and then they see this cocaine and they even, eat it, doing drugs, which is a great idea. This is while Kerry Russell is out looking for them. And then while the park ranger wants to impress this one forest expert guy. And David and Eddie stop by this particular, park station, while the park ranger had just talked about these 3, hoodlums, these 3, criminals that were menacing people. And then they try to get in a fight with David, but of course he's a drug dealer and knows how to fight and beats the shit out of them basically. And then ends up taking one with him and Eddie, to find out what the hell's going on with this goddamn cocaine. Like, where is it? Oh, we hid it in this gazebo. Like, It's this thing. I know what a gazebo is, and there's so many good goddamn lines here that are bouncing around in my head. It's such great dialogue because it's stupid on the surface, it's stupid underneath, but it's so entertaining you don't goddamn care. And the bear attacks these two, I believe they're Icelandic or Norwegian or whatever the hell it is. They attack. The bear is all coked up after that plane goes down and ingests some cocaine, and it attacks those two people, kills the wife, and the husband runs away. Even though it's implied that he gets killed a little bit later on when he makes one more appearance. And then the forest expert guy is, they're going all around. The mother, the park ranger, and the forest expert guy, they're going around and they find the kids. But it turns out Kerry Russell's daughter got carried off into the woods and into a cave where the bear is hibernating, pretty goddamn far away. I have to question how they got out there so much, but no question in a movie called Cocaine Bear. And there's a funny moment where the expert is covered in cocaine because he ends up getting through it after he's almost shot by the park ranger because the park ranger's trying to shoot him. She gets mauled. She's limping back for help. And then what ends up happening is since that expert guy is covered in cocaine, the bear's trying to get to the boy, but then says, and dives down and rushes up and rips him apart, just rips him to shreds. And it's so bloody and so good. So good. So good. So while David and, the one criminal that's left and Eddie go off to try and find this cocaine in this gazebo, the two other hoodlums are there with the park ranger, and she says to them, close the door or whatever, and then says to one, get the hell out of the goddamn way, but she ends up plugging one in the goddamn head instead of shooting the bear. And then the bear ends up mauling her. And then the ambulance people show up. The paramedics. That's the phrase I was looking for. One gets pinned down under a door. The lady paramedic, by the way, you see her IMDb page. She's actually quite lovely. She is she straps down the park ranger. We're about to get out of here. And then the guy throws his bag. The bear, seeing the bag, thinking that it's a cocaine bag because it's red, just like the other ones. Guy gets in, and there's I just can't get enough as they're trying to close the doors, but of course comically driving around and doing all this, and then the bear ends up jumping in the goddamn ambulance while that's playing. The park ranger strapped to a gurney ends up coming up and splattered on the pavement. The bear just rips apart the male paramedic, just ripping him apart, his hands hanging off, he's all mauled. And then the woman, lady driver coming through, hits the goddamn tree and booms out the goddamn door and dies. It's great. So great. And then basically what ends up happening, I'm gonna skip ahead here. There's this cop that ended up actually leaving this little, it was almost a Shih Tzu type dog, or Bichon Frise, I think actually would be it, or whatever kind of dog that is. But leaves it in the care of one particular cop that it turns out actually is in on the whole goddamn thing with Sid because she needs money. They never fully explain that, but again, it's called Cocaine Bear. I'm going to ignore the fact that there are plenty of plot holes. And Sid ends up shooting this particular person, this particular cop, that's up on this gazebo that's trying to do this, standoff. David loses a couple fingers, and I believe it was these two fingers. And they're like, how did he lose those fingers? They aren't even together. That's a good question. And then Eddie puts the fingers in his pocket, and they're laying down and everything. Suddenly the bear shows up, and then the bear, coked out of his goddamn mind, finally passes out on top of Eddie. All I know and says, well, I think he's dead. No, it's a she. How can you tell? Because her vagina is on my ear. Because beargina. There you go. And what conclusion we arrive at is there's plenty of cocaine in the goddamn bags that are in the cave where the daughter is. Kerry Russell and the other kid end up getting there. They rescue the daughter. There's a standoff with Sid and Eddie and David. And also the mother has two bear cubs that have gotten into the cocaine. So now it's a trio of cokes, cokey cubs as it were. And they all dive into the goddamn river. Well, Carrie Russell, her daughter, and the friend, as well as David and Eddie, even though David gets shot. And Ray Liotta shoots the goddamn mother bear, and the mother bear falls down. And the mother bear is dead, and the babies are all pissed and everything, but they can't really do much because they're babies. And then more cocaine falls down and reactivates the mother, and she climbs back up, and they maul and tear open the guts and everything and eat Ray Liotta, and Ray Liotta just dies because it's hilarious. And the bear and the babies are still alive. There is no way, humanly, animally, or metaphysically possible that that bear would still be alive, that those babies would still be alive. But again, it's called Cocaine Bear, and that implies a possible sequel. Also, Eddie ends up taking the dog away for, or the female cop that somehow is perfectly okay. Oh well, whatever. I was in on this, but it doesn't matter. The police chief's dead. Here, take the dog. And he takes the dog and takes it back to his son, and that's a way for them to heal after the mother passed away from cancer. Cocaine Bear, ladies and gentlemen. Cocaine Bear. A+. Gets a goddamn A+. It is amazing. This is an amazing film. It is bonkers and stupid. Stupid and bonkers. So good. So good. A+. Magnifique. Cinema. Peak cinema. Good luck topping that this year, Hollywood. In all seriousness, this will end up being in my favorite films of the year. This is A+ for entertainment. As far as a movie, I mean, it's not very good. But it's also a comedy horror called Cocaine Bear. So A+ for entertainment, and A+ is what I'm giving it. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.